Hey guys, I am FRL Mark. I will be your comms guy for the rest of the season. Welcome to FRL Formula Racing League multi-class on a Thursday between the BMW M2 and the GT2 class. It is not a team championship. This is a drivers' championship between two classes. There will be 7 races in this season. The first one today will be Cota. The week later will be Red Bull, then Valencia, Imola, Watkins Glen, Silverstone and Suzuka. Practice has just ended, and you can see with practice, with the laps and everybody involved, the silver arrow in the bottom right hand corner, grey, and the white is the GT2 class, and the red is the BMW M2 class. So Munster is currently occupying the top spot during practice. He was the championship in the last season, the M2 class only teams championship as well. I believe he was on top with that as well. A Sharp is currently on top spot with the Maserati with a 208. So this is the first round of season 22. So the race will be a 45-minute race. So the first 10 minutes, the BMW M2 will have priority of the course when they're on a flying lap, as long as they cross the line and have time to do another lap. The GT2 are entitled to come out as soon as the 10 minutes is up, and they will always give the M2 priority because they're in no rush to start their lap, but they will have 10 minutes also as well. In qualifying, you can do as many laps as you want, and I will set the grid for the race. On the fast lap, just make sure you don't block anybody off and stuff like that, but everybody knows what they're doing. It's going to be a very, very eventful race tonight with the GT2 class and the M2 class bunched up together on track. They'll have slow cars coming into the corner with the GT2 cars closely followed behind, and anti-basin turn is going to be crucial. But it's going to be a 45-minute race with a mandatory 1 stop, optional on tyres, depending how well you can manage them. It's mandatory refueling. The fixed refueling is 25 seconds, so if you want to change tyres, it'll be 30 seconds, but the pit window will be 43 seconds. So in the GT2 class, you have FRL Mr. Gedman, you have Tullock, Mr. Thacker, Sharp, Lino, Tamburini, Gertzmet, Marcel, Trotman, Weitz, Barnett, Harvey, Volkman, Bushner, Tilly, Lita, Chipino, Brocken, Muller, occupying the GT2 class. Occupying the M2 class will be Munster, FRL Mr. Brown, Keller, Pakasa, Kazavec, Serpentine, Hospital, Gaiman, Nonweg, Supernatural, Mansloot, Cossett, Joel, Martavelli, and Weitz. So the 18 minutes, they got 8 minutes left for the BM2 out on track to set the time in qualifying before the GT2 cars start coming out. As soon as it hits that 10-minute mark, normally I like to get the race map only up during qualifying, just to see where everybody is on track. It just helps to see who's coming across the line next. Have to set a time, unless you can set a benchmark. This is Munster. Looks like he's going to start his flyer. I think everybody is on a flyer now, so we'll see what happens when Munster is the first car out of the M2 out on track. But we'll just get on board with some of the other drivers out on track. So the M2 class are the ones in red when it comes to racing, and they are all in the M2 BMW. They're all in the same car, same class with the GT2 class. They are in different cars. So Munster's coming down the longest straight. No doubt there's going to be a lot of GT2 cars catching the M2 coming down this straight, with the M2 car slowing down into this corner, with the M2 car flying not too far behind. We'll maybe have to pick a different braking zone. Maybe the M2 car will have to break a different braking zone when a GT2 car overtakes them and the BMW M2 car is not too far behind. What can happen? Who knows? But Munster is your guy out on track at the moment, leading the pack of the M2 class, who is going to set a benchmark for everybody else behind. With 5 minutes left to qualify, and the BMW will be a lot slower than the GT2. It is a driver championship and not a team championship, which is every driver for themselves. So can Munster set a time as he crosses the line? There's a 2:25. Can jump on board. A couple of cars coming across the line, trying to pick them. There's 4 cars setting times at the moment. So I'm trying to keep up with some of the cars. Numbers, there's so many of them. It looks like Pospisil will be one of the main guys, maybe in the top 5. He's normally a good driver, up in the top 4 at the moment, with 10 drivers setting a time. 11. So next across the line is Brown. He doesn't set the time. So next car across the line will be Micheletti. So up in front at the moment with Munster with a 2:25. Nearly second behind is Keller with Sloot in third. Currently holding your top 3. Pospisil's in 4th. So they're just over a second behind, but they've got 3 minutes left. They may be able to cross the line and do one more lap. They should all be able to do one more lap. For any track limits, that's it. It's over. With Munster coming around the final corner. Can he improve in his time? He does. He does improve. Kozovic will be the next one. Cross the line, can he improve on his time? Doesn't. Keller, 1.3. There's a couple of cars coming across the line pretty quick. Oop, I just bounced somewhere there. That's Fonseca. I'm trying to get used to the name, sorry guys. Possible. I remember some from the last season, but I gotta get used to the names for the new ones in this season. Sorry guys. Possible still improves as well. He goes up into third. Sebastian. He's coming into the pit. He just stays where he is. There's a couple across the line. So Munster does improve in his last lap with Gaiman in second. Provisional with Possible in third. Munster provisional pole as well. So we'll try and find the next car coming across the line now, which is Micheletti, who haven't set the time. Can he jump up the order? We're bouncing over the final corner. There's 20 corners in this track. He bounces up into second. That is a massive lap from him with the BMW M2 class, which is neck and neck pretty much with Munster. With Munster coming around the final corner now, turn 20. Sorry, I got the map up, lads, because I want to see where everybody is, but what can he do? He doesn't improve on that lap time. I think he may have, but slightly. So Keller is the next guy. He comes into the pit. Sloot around the final corner. What can he do? Monweg, sorry, he bounces up into 13th. Sorry, I was just wondering where he was because I couldn't see him anywhere on thing, but Gaiman in 4th. There's somebody else down there as well, is there? He's in the pit. God. There's a couple of them coming into the pit now as the GT2 cars are entitled to go out on track now. No doubt there's a couple of GT2 cars coming down the pit lane. They could have left a long time ago. Let's have a look who is out on track. Somebody into the barrier. There's a couple of them trying to fight for track position. It looks like Volkmann is the leader of the GT2 cars. Down into turn 12. So he is in a Ferrari. The GT2 cars are multiple choice when it comes to cars. There's a Ferrari, there's an Audi, there's a Maserati on track. In a Porsche and a Mercedes. Whoa, look like somebody just went flying off. So Volkmann seems to be the leader of the gang of the GT2 cars. These cars will end up doing maybe one, maybe 2 laps more than the M2 cars. But it looks like he will set the benchmark. Just look at some of the other cars out on track. As we just look at the table with the GT2 class, the M2 class, sorry, BMW Munster on top spot, Micheletti in second, Mattavelli in third. That is your podium finishers for the qualifying round of the round one of Cota. Some lovely sounds to these cars. Nice engine sounds. It looks like Lita is just coming out of the pit. Maybe to change your tyre pressure. Come back out with the correct tyre pressure to attack the circuit. The Volkmann coming around turn 16, 17 and 18. The last but one corner. He's going to set the benchmark time for the cars behind. Closely followed by Thacker, I believe. As we automatically see them jumping up. Can anybody else set time? Get up at Gibino, it's just half a second. Anybody else? So nobody else out of the GT2 class are setting times. And Tamburini coming around the final corner. Doesn't set the time. Molino coming across corner, he sets a time. Just having a look with other cars who haven't set a time coming across the final corner now with Trotman. Can he jump up? He stays down. That was in Valley. You got plenty of time to do maybe potentially 2 laps left. Marshall up, provisional pole sitter, closely followed by Thacker. As Thacker comes down the longest straight in the circuit, closely followed by Smet, who still needs to set a time. Here comes Tullock across the line. What can he do? He jumps up. Can Barnett set time? He doesn't set the time with Tullock currently provisional pole at the moment with just over half a second over Marshall. Coming across the line now is Thacker in the Audi with a couple of other cars closely followed behind. Isn't improved. Can Volkmann do anything? No. Can Gedman cross the line and set a better time? Doesn't. I think I was Muller crossing the line then. Marcel, can he improve on his? With just over a second and a half behind. Doesn't. With Sharp with a blinder of a 2.8.3. I think that's Trotman crossing the line now. Still down there. Hasn't set the time. With the next one, Harvey. 2.6 behind the pole sitter at the moment. Can he jump up? He does, not too much though. Litty, he jumps up. He jumps up to 12. Doesn't improve in his time. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep up with all the bloody the cars down here. The one set the time. Tambroni doesn't set the time. Barnett, can he set the time? Stays where he is. Thacker is the next guy across the line, closely followed by Smith. Thacker doesn't improve. Smith stays where he is as well. A couple of other cars coming across the line. The board has just changed. With the GT2 cars setting times now, with Edmund around the final corner, closely followed by Muller. Jumps up, Muller, jump back up, stays where he is behind Edmund. So Marshall, can he do anything? Jumps up one spot. So next across the line is Trotman, who hasn't set a time yet. He'll have time to set another lap if he hasn't set one already on this one. Can he jump up the table? He got another lap to set a time to see if he can get up there with the other GT2 cars. So Harvey will be the next one across the line. Can he improve in his time? He does. He jumps up into 8th. So Letty is the next car across the track. He jumps up into 13th. With Talak currently in 3rd. Tamburini is the next car across the line. Comes into the pit. He's going to start last. The Barnett, can he improve with a 2.4? Stays where he is in 9th. With Taka, your next guy. Closely followed by Smith. Currently in a 1.9. Can he improve? Starker coming across the line. Stays with these as well. Mula is the next one. Around the final corner. Stays where he is. Marshall. Stays where he is. Trotman is the only GT2 car out on track now who hasn't set a time out of the GT2 class. Can he get up there? Around the final corner. Can he join the GT2 car? He does. Jump up into 15th. As we look at the timetable, you have A Sharp currently on the top spot for the GT2 class in the Maserati, closely followed by Wheats. Tulloch in third, Thacker in fourth, Smets in fifth, Marshall in sixth, Gibino in seventh, Harvey in eighth, Barnett in ninth, Volkman in 10th, Gedman in 11th, Muller in 12th, Litty in 13th, Lino 14th, Trotman in 15th. So that is your top 15 out of the GT2 class, with Munster currently on the top spot for the BMW M2 class. The BMWs are all in the same car with the GT2 class in multiple cars as you want to be, but the M2 you're all in the same one, with Micheletti currently in the second spot behind Munster, with Matt Belly in third, Gaiman in fourth, Pospisil in fifth, Keller in sixth, Sloot in seventh, Kazovic in eighth, Hegati in ninth, Fonesca in 10th, Serpentine in 11th, Pacasia in 12th, Brown in 13th, Mondweg in 14th, Sebastian in 15th, S in 16th, Tamburini in 17th, and Wheat in 18th. Tamburini is in the GT2 class, so he is currently in 16th, so he'll jump from 15th, I believe, into 14th out of the classes out on track. So it is a driver championship between two classes, GT2 and the BMW M2 class, so each man for themselves. So I'm looking forward to coming this, because it should be a very, very eventful race tonight. There's 20 corners with a lot of fast streets, and it is a wet race. Oh, we're expecting that, but I'll be back now. I gotta go to the toilet, but I wasn't expecting this. This is gonna be mental. I'll be back now. Alright guys, sorry. Alright, welcome back. Right, before the race starts, I would like everyone to know this is sponsored by Ashley Gunning Down Under. Thank you very much for your sponsorship, and unfortunately he's not on the racetrack tonight, but I look forward to seeing him on track soon. So thank you very much for sponsorship to the FRL, and this keeps you guys on track. There's a Patreon page if you wanted to join. The minimum is 3 pound, the maximum is 5 pound. There is a variety between the packages if you wanted to look into it. Check it out. But wasn't expecting this. Thank you very much, Ashley Gunning again. So it is going to be a formation lap between the GT2 and the BMW M2 cars. Every driver for themselves. Let's get rid of this map so we can see all the cars out on track with A-Sharp leading the pack of the GT2 cars, closely followed behind a hungry bunch of BMW M2 cars. Leading the way of that pack will be Munster. So this is going to be a very, very eventful race. With the track being wet, it looks like in 10 to 30 minutes, yeah, it's going to be overcast and dry. So when you come in for the slicks, and it's an optimal, well, a tidy racing line to come in for slicks. But if you go for a racing line, woo, what's going to happen? Especially with a bunch of M2 cars as well in the mix. The BMW M2 and the GT2 cars in this race is going to be good. It's going to be mad coming into the corners because you've got a car which is slower in and out with a car with a much faster in and out. But everybody needs to be patient with the BMW 2 cars, with the BMW M2 cars. So the M2 cars need to be patient of the GT2 cars here. We're battling in front. Who knows what could happen? It's going to be a good race, especially in wet conditions. We weren't expecting it. But this should be fun. Looks like there's a couple of cars in the pit. Just try and get all the cars in. It's a nice picture, a variety of cars coming down the longest straight of the track. A lot of weaving. Nice colours. Nice cars out there, nice liveries. Pospisil and Tamburini are starting in the pits. The one in the BMW and the one in the GT2 class. Sharp. To be honest with you, I wasn't expecting as bad as either. Well, I hope everybody survives the first lap as well. To be honest with you, I didn't even know text come up on the live stream, but yeah, text away guys. I didn't even know, but yeah, I wasn't expecting a wet race at the beginning, but it's going to be cloudy, so it's going to be very interesting when it comes to tyre choice when and where on fuel. So A-Sharp is currently leading the GT2 cars up into the start finish straight for the Formula Racing League, sponsored by Ashley Gunning Down Under, with a multi-class BMW M2 GT2 car class at Cota, as they are anxiously waiting for that green light to go on this wet track. Coming up into the turn one. Let's go. As everybody seems to be getting around turn one okay. Happy days. Everybody has survived turn one. Absolutely crucial. A-Sharp is out in front. where there's loads of cars coming around. Yes is now. Oh, sorry, with the telemetry's going crazy at the moment. Sorry, I'll just stick on with A-Sharp at the moment because he is currently leading the way. With the telemetry bouncing around, it's hard to pick a car at the moment, so we'll just stick on it board with A-Sharp as they go to complete this epic race one. Maybe I'll go down now to see what's happening a bit further down. Yes. Oh no, commentators curse. See BMW cars getting mixed up with GT2 cars. I'm gonna stick on with Sharp out in front with the GT2 class. It's hard to see who is closely following him behind with the telemetry bouncing around. I think it's Wheats putting him under a lot of pressure as they come around the last couple of corners before the so A-Sharp is out in front. Let's have a look what's going on behind. Sorry guys, I'm just waiting for the telemetry to sort itself out because they're bouncing all over the place. It looks like there is Ferrari Challengers. Sorry, I didn't know there was Ferrari Challengers of Muller and Volkmann in amongst the races. Sorry, I missed it, but Sharp is out in front with the fastest lap, followed by Wheats. We'll just have a look further down with the M2 class with Agati in front, with Monweg closely followed behind him, I believe. No, the telemetry changed again. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with everybody. So Keller is in second and Kazovic is gone very, very wide. Sluter's also Munster, who is taking 2 places off them too, so should be in third. But having a look behind, there's a lot of action happening with the M2 class cars. Tomaretti has got some work to do to try and field there now as we jump on board with Barnett, putting Volkmann under pressure in the Challenger. No, sorry. Yeah, in the Challenger. So Sharp is still out in front, the Wheats closely followed behind. Let's see what Weeks can do on this lap. Can he make Sharp make a mistake? As they start coming out in turn 18 down into 19, the final corner, turn 20. Looks like he's got a bit of a breathing space going across the finish line. Just look on some of the board with telemetry now with some of the other boys in the GT2 cars. There's a lot of cars bunched up. The backup putting Gabino under pressure with Gedman not too far behind. As they look 3 offside then, but with just the camera one still Smet's got Talak all over the back of him. Not too far behind is Harvey and Gabino. think there's a bit of a move down there now from Tulloch. Nah, doesn't look for it. Let's put Harvey a little bit closer, down into the longer straight of the race. Who's going to be the best on brakes coming down on into this wet circuit? As it looks like Gabino in the background trying to get some temperature, well, some cold into the temperature, overheating, well, no doubt, where it stopped raining now. So Taka's under a lot of pressure now from Gedman. Let's look a bit further down. Let's have a look what's going down in the F2 class. There's an overtaking move down now with Munster. Looks like he's got up into second place. As they're all looking for the wet part of the track to cool the tyres down. Munster's closed up a lot. Supposed to call it by Keller. Then there's Sloot amongst it all. Munster have a better drive. Through these next couple of corners. Looks like he's a lot closer with Sloot, a lot closer now to Keller. Looks like Munster staying out. Hogarth in, Keller. Looks like Sloot is in as well. Let's have a look up the road of Harvey in the Mercedes. Putting Tulloch under a lot of pressure with some of the GT2 classes coming into the pit. It's Tulloch, foot flat, down along the straight in the race. Who's going to be the best on the brakes? What's going on? Can he hold it? No, Tulloch gets back in front. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Gabino, sorry. So Tulloch is your race leader for the GT2 class, with Wheat is your pole setter out to the pit stop, so Sharp in second, not too far behind. Smets doing this pit stop as well, so there's some of the M2 cars amongst the GT2 cars now, with Munster currently occupying the top spot of the M2. We beat overtaking Keller, so this is going to be interesting with Keller going a little bit wide. Wheat coming around the corner in the GT2 cars. Let's have a look what's going on in the background. The GT2 cars fighting with M2 cars involved, not too far behind as well. So Munster is in front of this pack of hungry GT2 cars. Let's see what's going to happen with the race leader of the M2 class. There's one GT2 car passing with two fighting closely. Gonna catch Munster, but it'll be on the start in the straight, so they should be able to just glide past him with ease, and they continue racing. With Sharp defending from Smet. So Tulloch is your home setter of the pit stops. So A sharp, I'm still going to telemetry in a minute. The little cameras. It's a long camera that was. Just having a look a little bit further down now. We go a couple of guys in the pit for the MT2 class. M2 class. What's going on there? More donkeys, a few laps behind Micheletti, under a bit of pressure from Agati, with a GT2 car getting involved, not too far behind. What's going on here? We just keep on board with Micheletti, with the other cars not too far behind. Not too sure who other is on. So, the GT2 car wise, couple are going to be catching coming up into turn 1. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen. The M2 car is going to be foot flat. GT2 car should pass with ease, but in these corners, just got to be patient. The last racing. Oh, definitely now coming. As long as you stick to the racing line, definitely. And Harvey currently occupying the top spot for the GT2 class with 5 laps. Oh, definitely hot. There's no wet spots out there anymore. So Harvey occupying the top spot. So in 5th spot is Lamborghini, who haven't made a pit stop yet. Munster, his tyres, everybody won't pit it. The tyres must be hot, but the longer you stay out, the longer your tyre, the fresher your tyres are towards the end of the race, as long as you can manage them. So there are cars racing and amongst GT2 cars, which is always good to see, especially coming around this part of the track. Managed to just get in front of Brown. We deliver Serpentine just ahead of Brown. GT2 sandwich. The M2 cars are racing with a GT2 car stuck in the middle of these two. Fair play to the GT2 car. Good driving from the GT2 car, respectful. I'll let the M22 cars carry on with racing with Serpentine under a lot of pressure now. Drag race down into turn 12 from Brown. Who's going to be best on brakes? These guys are still not made their pit stop. Serpentine still stays in front. There's a couple of cars not too far behind them too. Serpentine is all over back of another BMW 2 car, M2 car, sorry, but it's a slower car, it's a blue flag. think that's possible, not too far behind as well, so the BMWs are having a good scrap. So Smet is under pressure now from Gibino. These guys have come in for their tyres, so but they'll have to stick to the racing line. There will be a little bit of damp around the track, but not a lot. With the M2 cars and GT2 cars, the racing line should be a lot wider anyway, especially with overtaking and stuff like that. So the track should dry up pretty quick in certain places, like. But yeah, it looks like Smet is holding off Gibino coming down. Oh, Gibino goes a little bit deep on his brakes. So, just having a look at the telemetry to see who's the closest guys out on track, still scrapping. So, Brown is under pressure now from Pospisil. Brown got some defending to do, and these guys are still not pitted. So, these tyres must be screaming for a puncture. But it looks like Pospisil is going on the inside. May have gone a little bit deeper. Pospisil looks to have taken him nose, neck and neck. Coming out of that turn 11, drag race down now into turn 12. Let's see who's the best on the brakes with these raging hot tyres. Hey, let's have a look. Pospisil goes a little bit wide. Takes the inside line, goes a little bit slower, tyres no doubt. He's under pressure from another car behind. No, a couple of other M2 cars scrapping it out a little bit further down Sloot. Again, we're just looking at the telemetry. Just go a little bit further up now. It looks like Teller is under pressure now from Sharp and Wheat. So Harvey have still not pitted, but currently race leader who has made this pit stop is Tulloch with Sharp, closely followed behind with Wheat as well, catching up to a couple of the two cars down this absolute awesome drag race with cars involved with the M2's picky racing line. Nice. Looks like Tulloch is going to be comfortable in front of the moment with a block from an M2, which is entitled because he's racing as well. Looks like he's gone a little bit wide. The M2 sticking to his line. Everybody is getting through okay. Tulloch has lost a bit of time catching another M2 with Sharp closely followed behind. Now put him on. Oh no, the M2 is still just in front of the other M2's GT2 cars behind, which they're entitled to. The M2 cars have always got the racing line. It's up to the GT2 cars to overtake, being the faster car, but in a safe manner. So Tulloch is your race leader who has made this pit stop. A Sharp is going to be under pressure now from Wheats. What's going to be... doesn't put him under too much pressure. Smet's going across the finish line, putting Gibino under pressure. Gibino putting Smet under a lot of pressure. With M2 cars getting involved. No, there's nip attack. No, there's a little bit of contact. Let's continue racing. Hopefully it wasn't too much. A little bit of a spin. So Sharp have Wheat still all over the back of him. Right. So Tulloch. Here we go. Whoop, little bit A little bit door bang, a little bit door bang. We jump on board with the race leader. In top three, scrapping it out with a bunch of M2 cars involved. So Sharp has managed to clear the M2 Canwheat. He does also clear the M2 car. So Tulloch is under a lot of pressure now. I don't know what happened with him coming down into that final corner, but Sharp looks like he has taken the lead from Tulloch with Wheat. Oh, just backed out to that one a little bit in second. So Sharp is in top spot. Tulloch in second. Wheat putting Tulloch under a lot of pressure now coming around to 17 and 18. Has come down into turn 19 around the final corners. Drag race up into turn 1. Up hill braking, so you need to be on point, especially when you got three cars scrapping it up with a BMW just in front, making it awkward for the other cars to try and overtake. There we go. What's going to happen now? Sharp goes a little bit wide. Tulloch takes the inside line. Wheat has taken that off. Oh, no way, he's a little bit of contact. No, kept it on track. Happy day. So Tulloch has won with Wheat in second place, with Sharp taking third spot. Can he come back at these guys just in front? Some good racing by these guys, especially with their two cars getting involved. So Muller now under a lot of pressure with a lot of other M2 cars involved. So Harvey is defending off Muller, who's defending off Barnett, closely followed behind. So this is a scrap now out of these three with M2 cars getting involved. Manages to pass one. Can Muller pass it? As they set themselves up for the drag race. Let's see who's going to be the best on the brakes. Three different cars. Mercedes, Ferrari, Audi. Oh, it looks like Harvey is still in front. Makes a little bit of contact with Muller. I think Muller has got in front of Barnett takes 2 places. Muller takes a place off Harvey. Harvey losing out 2 places out of that group of cars. As they come around the last couple of corners with just over 20 minutes left to go. Looks like Smet has a bit of a breathing space over Harvey. Oh, sorry. Harvey has a bit of a breathing space over Muller, sorry, with Barnett closely followed behind. Oh no. So Muller's under pressure from Harvey. Can he anything into the turn 1? No, keeps it there. So Tulloch is out in front. Let's have a look what's happening with the M2 class. It's a Pospisil and a couple of other cars are out to scrap. Brown. There's a GT2 car in the mix as well. Let's see what's going to go down. Brown is just in front of the GT2 car. Possible just up in front. Can that GT2 car help Brown gain any time on Pospisil? Micheletti's not too far behind, as there's other GT2 cars bunching up as well. So Pospisil having a drag race down with the GT2 car. I believe that is Gedman in a Porsche, I think. Yo. Nope, sorry. No, sorry, my bad. So Brown is still in front. God, it's still empty. Was it just my eyes? I don't know. Sorry, guys. So Surf 18 is in the pit of the M2 cars with Munster in top spot. So Surf 18 is still in the pit. So I'm just looking at telemetry, guys. Just it's a bit chaotic with the telemetry, sorry. But we'll just jump on board with Telek at the moment. There was a bit of a breathing space with a 2.3 gap. So Munster is your guy out in front. McKellen in second and Sloot in third. So there's a couple of other cars still needing to make a pit. Marshall, sorry, of the GT2 class, who is still running on whatever tyres he started with. I'm not too sure, but he's still going. So Thacker looks like he's under a bit of pressure now from Muller. There's a drag race coming down to turn 12. See who can be the best on the brakes. Just over 15 minutes left to go. He's still on his case. Muller defend Thacker. If you can defend him coming out into the final corner with the M2 car just in front, that's going to put him offline. On the dirty side as well, looks like Thacker has the better racing line, so his tyres are not going to be as dirty, but he managed to get around these last couple of corners with Thacker over the back of him. Now with that M2 car, going to be pulling them off the race line on the dirty side of the track, so he's going to be best on the brakes. Looks like Muller is going to be just in front of that battle, with Wheat under a lot of pressure now from Sharp. As they have a drag race now. Let's see who's going to be at best on the brakes with 15 minutes left to go. Looks like it has been taken by Wheats. Wheats is just in front with a couple of M2 cars just in front, making it a little bit more chaotic. So Munster is your race leader of the M2 class. Keller currently in second, getting a bunch of M2 cars in the mix, with Sloot in third. Looking a bit further down, let's have a look. Apostle and Brown are having a scrap. We'll jump aboard with these guys at the moment. Let's see if any GT2 cars can come up behind and maybe like make it a little bit more interesting. This is the closest battle at the moment out of the M2 class. So the GT2 car just in front. Yeah, should be able to pass in quite comfortably, not putting Pospisil off. Brown closely followed behind. I've looked at the other cars. The cars have been lapped. So from Brown up until Munster, that is your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth and 10th. And 11th, I believe, maybe 13th. These are all the cars who are all on the same lap. So the other cars behind of the M2 class are +3 and whatnot and going forward. It looks like the M2 cars have a little bit of a breathing space between one another, so we'll just jump back on board with Tombolini, sorry, who's got Trotman closely followed behind. So there's a M2 car, making it a little bit awkward for Trotman to get past. But he does get past, so can Trotman catch up to Tamburini? Just over 12 minutes left to go. Oh, looks like Tamburini went a little bit wide there, putting Trotman in the mix for a drag race coming down the longest straight in the track. It looks like Trotman had a good racing line coming out that corner. Gonna put him under a lot of pressure now. These are fighting for position as well. Trotman sticks to the racing line, the better line, more grip. He looks to go on the outside. Might cut back. He stays on the outside. Still on the outside. Oh no! Bit of a glitch. He's still on the outside. And on the inside. That's good racing. Oh, no way. Oh, keep it on track. I'm sorry. So Talak is out in front with the fastest lap with Sharp just over 3.5 seconds behind with Wheat in third spot. So that's your podium finishers as it currently stands at the moment. So Muller and Thacker are still having a scrap with Tumberini, and Trotman are still scrapping it out until I'm just have a look down on these cars. So Muller and Thacker, there seems to be the scrap out on track at the moment. So the Thacker get a better racing line out of this corner with an M2 car just in front. It looks like he would have had a with that M2 car on the outside to put him off. Thought it might have been a good run out of there, and we're sure where the M2 car was, and I got two M2 cars just in front. That's going to be making racing a little bit more interesting. No way! Not every corner is an overtaking corner, especially when you've got a mixed class racing sandwich. The M2 car, which I thought they both would have went through. That is unfortunate. That happened because they have been racing for a long time close and hard together. With Munster, your top runner out of the M2 class, with Keller with 8 seconds behind, and Sloot not too far behind as well. So that's your top 3 of the M2 class as well. Seems like the M2 cars have a bit of a breathing space over one another. It's going to happen with the type of track it is. An M2 car is pretty open. When you say that, it looks like Gaiman could be putting... Oh, Surf 19 under a bit of pressure. Here we go. Here. There we go. Closer back now to the M2s. Let's see what's going down. The Surf 19 old game will off. For just over half a second. Maybe going a little bit wide there. This could be a bit of a tricky corner. Depending on your TC and your... So as we come down into the final corner of the lap, can Gaiman get a little good run out of this corner and put him under a lot more pressure coming up in turn 1. Looks like a GT2 car may get involved and slow Surf 19 down a little bit more than what he wanted and put Gaiman right on the back of Surf 19, which he does. Looks like that may have put him off a little bit. So there is cars all over the place at the moment racing, so this is why it's hard to keep up, but fair play to everybody keeping it on track. This is where races could be won and lost as well, especially we've got faster cars in amongst your races as well, especially on the final lap. A GT2 car just comes from nowhere, slows you down, and you get overtaken by a car you've been racing for a long time. Bang! I think that's a blue flag anyway. Surf 19 manages to stay on track, following close like big game, man. And there's a lot of GT2 cars in amongst it all as well. So it looks like Gaiman has dropped back just over half a second, so just jumping on with Surf 19 at the moment because you've got a lot of GT2 cars that have just overtaken and another one coming down as well. And manages to make it past as well, with Pospisil taking that place off Gaiman. Brown, sorry. No. Gaiman, sorry. So Gaiman lost out because of the GT2 cars passing. That's what it's about racing. Anything can happen with Surf 19 under pressure from a GT2 car, but... Oh, it's hard to keep up there. I love it. Okay, well, Pospisil took place off Brown. Oh, there's a couple of guys down there with disqualification and drive-thrus, but Sharp is under pressure now from Wheat. After the GT2 class, this is your top 3. Tulloch out in front with Sharp in second, Wheat in third. So they keep it on track. RPT just having a look a little bit further back with Jabino and Smith. And the Jabino. Oh, this camera, I tell you. Jabino stays in front. Smith not too far behind. And your top spot runner from the M2 class is Munster. He won the BMW M2 Championship season 21. It was just the M2 class then, and he won it quite comfortably, to be honest with you. He pretty much dominated, but there's a lot of cars out on track with A-Sharp, Talak, Gipino. They were closely followed behind. There's a lot of cars out on track currently in the GT2 class or currently in the M2 class, put him under a lot of pressure as well, and it's good to have a mixed class out on track. Fair play to Ashley Gunning down under. He's your sponsor for this race and season as well. Fair play to him. Thank you very much, appreciate that. So, just a bit further down, Serpentine seems to be under pressure now, a lot more from Pospisil, so we just jump on board with these guys. Just over 3 minutes to go with Serpentine taking a nice tight line. Pospisil should have a better run out, but Serpentine keeps it in check, blocks him on the racing line. It's hard on this track as well, especially when you got GT2 cars potentially not too far behind. Especially when you're racing, you don't think of cars behind, especially GT2 cars, when you know you got a bit of a gap from the next car you're racing. The Pospisil, all of the back of Serpentine now. Let's come out in turn 1. The Pospisil is looking on the inside. Serpentine holds it and keeps it in front. A bit further up the track with Sharp having a drive-through. No doubt that'll be about track limits. I'm not gonna lie, it's most probably one of my worst tracks for track limits. But Talak is under a lot more pressure now, as the race is coming to an end. He has got to fight till the end now, with Sharp with a drive-through. Regardless, he most probably will just keep racing until the last lap. So they'll do another lap definitely, so I think he may have to come in now, or he might get disqualified. But I don't know, when the race is over, can he come into the pit lane? I'm not sure, but I don't know. It's unfortunate with A-Sharp because he's been racing well as well. It's unfortunate to see anybody with a penalty and that, but Talak out in front. Coming on the final corner. Unfortunate for Sharp, comes into the pits.
Alright man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
So gutted for him. As you got the race leader of Munster starting the final lap as well. Out in front. So you got the race leader, the GT2, race leader, the M2, sorry. BMW M2 and the GT2. Race leader from both categories, both classes, in the mix. That'd be good as a screenshot, Howard. GT2 and the GT3, GT2 and the M2. That'd be a good shot, Howard, if they win the races, the two of them. But Wheat is closely followed behind. Talak makes a mistake. So Muller looks like he's under pressure now from the Volkman. Both in the challenges. Ferrari challenge. Muller is occupying the inside line with Volkman dying again on the outside. to the car, get out of the way. As these two are scrapping it out. Anything can happen on these last couple of corners. But we'll jump on board with the race leader from the GT2 class, Talak, as he comes around the final corner. So he's the winner of round one. The multi-class GT2 M2, woo, a Cota, fair play too. Wheat in second, Chibino in third as we jump on board with Munster across the line. Keller in second, I believe will occupy that spot with Sloot in third. I try and find some other cars on track, scrapping it out with Barnett. Just in front of Harvey with Muller still under pressure of Volkmann. This is a scrap going on. Ferrari v Ferrari. The Muller keep Volkmann at bay. Volkmann looks like he is. No. Doesn't go for the lunge. It looks like he put Muller off. As he come across the line. And it looks like Muller will win that one out of the challengers. So out back we still have scraps going on with Micheletti, Wheat and Martville. Whoa, as one of the cars goes really wide, another one goes off. And it looks like Mattavelli is going to take 2 places out of the M2 class. So, looking at the timetable, you have Talak is your race winner out of the GT2 class, and I believe challengers are in it as well. So, he is the race winner with Wheat in second, Gibino in third. That is your podium spots, those three. With Smith in fourth, Sharp in fifth, Barnett in sixth, Harvey in seventh, Muller in eighth, Volkmann in ninth, Tombarini in 10th, Lino, oh flipping hell, everybody's going now. Sorry guys. Sorry, I'll do it from here now. That's gonna go well. Right, sorry guys, everybody started vacating from the stream and stuff like that, but this was Cota, round one of the Formula Racing League, sponsored by Ashley Cunning from Down Under. Fair play, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. It's nice racing with the guy on track also. This is the multi-class on a Thursday, BMW M2 and GT2 series. Drivers Championship, no team championship, so every driver for himself. So next week we'll be at Red Bull Racing Ring. So I will see you all on track then. Good night, God bless, and I will see you all on track soon. Bye guys.